Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Bob here. And because there's been some wanting amongst a lot of people in the fighters community for ways to actually beat Vegito, I'm surprised this is a thing that needs to be done. Today, I present to you, as a Vegito player, an anti-Vegito guide. Now, I know I'm a dedicated Vegito player. If you see my channel or see me play online, I run Vegito on point, followed by Goku Black and then Cell. So why exactly am I giving you information about Vegito, and why do I care this much? Well, it's because I feel like a lot of people are playing Vegito wrong. So what I specifically mean by that is I'm seeing a lot of people playing Vegito as a party animal character. And while I certainly get the appeal of that, and I understand why people think that, because for God's sakes, he has most likely the longest reaching light attack in the game. A crouching medium that reaches all the way over here. Super evasive, super easy to use with punishers and the Spirit Sword. But that's combined with the fact that he doesn't have any beam attacks. Like, this is the best he has for a beam attack projectile. This is maybe his best approaching tool combined with his flips. And really, it comes down to a lot of people really just like using, or people really use Vegito as, I'm gonna fling you, or I'm gonna fling myself at you to see what the hell happens and see if I can't pull off some bullshit. So this playstyle makes me sad. This is partly because Vegito does have a neutral game. He does. There's no denying that in the slice. He absolutely does have a neutral game. He's not as destitute for a neutral game as, say, Teen Gohan. My God, he needs a neutral game. But he can't be played in an I'm going to fling myself at you, hope for the best kind of mentality. So I'm hoping the information I'm going to give to you will help you with trying to deal with the party animal style characters. And we're going to start for the basic stuff, and I'm going to give you some specific play styles as well as general game plans. Alright, so what exactly are you dealing with when you try to fight against a Vegito? Well, first of all, we're going to go over things that he doesn't have and things you can exploit. If you watch my comprehensive Vegito tutorial I posted earlier, you'll see some familiar points here. The first being, he doesn't have a beam attack. He doesn't have a beam whatsoever. This does count. This does cover a lot of the screen, and it does, well, it comes up fast, and it also it's pretty quick, and it can be deflected. However, this should not scare you really. This is not something that Vegito wants to use at any given point in time. As well as the fact that no Vegito player should be using this from... This is something Vegito players should be using sparingly to, like, if you want to gimmick out an opponent, even though, let's be real here, if you're all the way over here, an opponent will probably want to super dash at you because, you know, no beams. No beams means you can get in safely, pretty much. Unless they get tagged with a 5L, I'll talk about 5L in a little bit. There's nothing to really worry about. So, if he does this, or if he starts spamming this, super dash. That's all you gotta do. So he has that. Something else you want to keep in mind is he does not have a DP. Now, why exactly is this important? Because I feel like the characters in this game who have DPs, like your Vegetas, your Gohans, and now your Coolers, I feel like they can play this game differently than a lot of other characters because they essentially have a way out of any given pressure situation. Like if they're knocked down on the ground, they're getting woken up. They can just hammer out, like, you can hammer out knees, you can hammer out dragon punches, you can hammer out a bunch of dumb bullshit. Teen Gohan has this as well. Trust me when I say this fucks me up more than anything else, as a Vegito player especially, because I go for the pressure them on wake up, it's like, oh, nope, I just got hit by a DP, and then they vanish me, and I get hit for a full combo. Vegito has nothing like this. So that means that traditional pressure games, like off of your jumping heavies or your traditional high-low mix-ups, they're completely free. So if Vegito gets knocked on the floor, you're fine. You don't have to worry about being put in really ambiguous situations at all. So that's a good thing for some of you guys to keep in mind. Now, one other thing I want to keep in mind for you guys out there is, I know I mentioned that Vegito has a shield. He absolutely does. But this shield is not infallible. If nothing else, I would say this shield is more used as a dissuasion than anything else. So if I were to set the AI to do light attacks, there's a couple of things about this. One, this shield is... First of all, this shield can only beat a certain number of things. As in, it beats all physical attacks. But the thing is, it does not beat shields. So let me show you, first of all. If I attack Vegito and I do shield, I beat him. Now, there's a couple things about this. One, if I were to set him to do a throw, yeah, suddenly it's not so infallible, now is it? This also qualifies if you're to do something like, let me go find an input. Sure, that works, why not? If I were to do this, it does not beat supers, so it doesn't beat throws, it doesn't beat supers. So that's immediately a big detriment for me as the person who set up the shield. Now, something else on top of that is, even if I do get the shield out, I have to fucking work in order to get a combo out. It's kind of like Goku Black's command throw, where unless you specifically set up, sorry, I can't talk today, you're not going to be able to get much stuff off of it, or a lot of damage. I mean, Vegito natively has high damage combos, don't get me wrong, but the stuff you're going to be getting off of it isn't quite what I would deem quote-unquote worth it, because, again, every time you do this, you have to use advantage in order to get the combo extension, or unless you have a specific assist dedicated to, setting it up, which, even then, I'm pretty sure it still scales your combo damage regardless, so, like, a max scale, or a max damage combo I can do with this would maybe be like this. It may be, like, I can maybe break 3k, 3.5k, maybe, if I really push for it, but the shield is never really, like, a utility I think about. When I'm playing Vegito, I'm thinking of, like, three moves, which is this, crouching medium, and whatever else happens to be flowing around my head at the time. I don't know, super dashes. But yeah, no, the shield is not infallible. I was explaining to Rufamonger the other day that if you're a Broly player and you know the Vegito is going to, or if you the Broly are going to use Lariat Express, I as the Vegito player know you're probably going to do it at the start of the round and can shield it. Now the thing about that is, the Vegito player will likely not use shield outside the beginning of the match, and will probably instead opt to do 2H for your options. So, if you're a Broly player, feel free to use Lariat Express from this range as much as you want to, because I can't react to it with this in time. It'll likely be an out or something like that, so yeah, no, the shield is not perfect at all. Just bear that in mind. Oh, also remember the fact that I think the shield does actually beat some projectiles. Let me go check that really quick so I don't end up eating my words. Go for Broly. Oh, right. Oh. Yeah, the shield does beat projectiles, so let me actually get this a little bit better. Yeah, the shield does beat projectiles, so that is a good thing. But here's another thing on top of that. If I were to actually get him knocked down. Nah, that's not a good example. Here we go. Okay, so I'll knock him down. Or I'm supposed to be knocking him down anyway. Hang on a sec. What's a good move to get him like that? Okay, this will actually illustrate my point a little bit better. So I have really actually set to repeat this. His standard Shell Blaster. Yeah, so the thing is, the shield does beat this. Kind of. But the problem is because the shield... When you do the shield command, you're relegated to just doing the command grab afterwards. If you don't get if the command grab doesn't land, yeah, this is essentially a waste. That said, though, I believe you are temporarily invincible after this. So if you're getting pummeled by beams, first of all, good luck. Second of all, I do believe you temporarily become invincible to all projectiles. So you can kind of use it to squeeze your way out of pressure situations, but this is no hit 236S. That's just not going to work, unfortunately. So now quickly I'm going to talk about that is a major Vegito weakness that, frankly, this is pretty beginner level, but this is a very core issue that Vegito has that any of you who want to fight against him need to keep in mind. If you block his entire Autolite combo, you can demolish him. And the reason why, this is one of those light strings that ends with a command grab. Now, I'll talk more about the light kicks in a little bit because I know people have been having a lot of problems with this. But keep in mind that if this Vegito is either beginner
or he's really overzealous on the lights, there's a chance that if you're blocking him, he will accidentally whiff this, and you can annihilate him. So if you want a perfect example of this, I'm going to set Broly to do a medium after he's able to recover. And as you can see, he gets a full punch on me. I can't do crap because, oh, I just missed a command grab. That said though, be careful because since the last hit is a command grab, it's all like Cell where if the first 2 attacks whiff but the last attack hits, the command grab will come out and it will beat all guards. Like, you know, Broly is at the hard guard right now. If this connects, it's going through. Like, there's nothing stopping it, and in fact, you can't even block it. So, but that said, though, remember, if you see the hand, if he goes for a scoop, if he goes for that sweet scoop of ice cream, and it whiffs because you're holding block, because you know hits and everything, you can demolish him. Use the Broly nipple press, and you can absolutely floor him. So, always bear that in mind. I don't even believe you can cancel this either. Well, you can, but that's getting into like that's like you're mixing up your own punishment. So don't go that deep. It's not worth it. Now, a big thing about Vegito, and I've mentioned this like dozens of times already, but this is absolutely the best way you want to fight Vegito, is space control. As I said before, I'm gonna say it again. No projectiles. This is the single biggest crippling weakness of Vegito, I believe, on top of the lacking of a low light attack. So the fact that he doesn't have a beam whatsoever, but outside of this and then vanishing into your opponent, which even then, this is still fairly reactable if he just does it. And especially if you get the read off, you can just super dash and just, you know, go for it with impunity, basically. Yeah, the lacking of a beam is what's really going to do it. So what you want to do is you want Vegito to come to you. So I was watching Rufomonger take on this really aggressive Vegito the other night. It was his stream where he got the Super Saiyan God rank. So here's the thing. Vegito has no way of opening you up. If you're over here, again, hell, even like here, he has no way of really making you scared. He's no black. He doesn't have a beam, or he can like just condition you to want to approach him. Vegito has to approach you, and in order to do that, if you are playing the right character, you can have Broly here has more than enough options to take care of that. For example, if it's a standard neutral game, oh, I still have to do that. You can just have him, because of this, you can have Vegito just tortured the entire time. And if he tries to make an approach, either do a 2H or do his, I believe you can do Tiger. What the hell was it called? Oh yeah, the Tiger uppercut. No, Tiger knee. That was it. The Tiger knee motion in order to get this. I believe it's called that anyway. Sorry if I got that term wrong. I haven't used it in a while because I haven't used that term in a while. But the one where you do, of course, go back and then up or up back and then you jump, which allows you to gimp the game and do a aerial super or aerial special attack right off the ground. Tiger knee. That was what it was called. Shit, I was forgetting the name offhand. But yeah, you have more than enough options with Broly, or hell, if you're Bardock, this is even more so. I'm gonna straight up tell you guys, I believe Bardock is one of the best matchups against Vegito, period. And the reason being is because of this bullshit. Light Rebellion Spear. I mean, you know, surprise, surprise, Rebellion Spear is really good. No one's really fucking surprised at all. Actually, I can't beat that now. Interesting. They used to. There we go. So, like, if I. Oh, no, that's not it. Is that dependent on range? Or am I just getting the timing wrong? Yeah, it's still good, like close neutral and block. I think your Bardock's a little bit minus right now, or at the nerf. But honestly, like as long as you get the block punish, fuck. If you get the assist to cover Rebellion Spear coming in, Vegito can't really do anything. The most he can do is predict you're gonna do it and like jump back and do this. That's really the best Vegito can do as a response. Yeah, general space control. If you have a character that has a beam, use it. That's absolutely gonna kill him. If Vegito is relying on approaching via the air or using his own beam assist, be patient. Let him approach you. There's a very good chance that he will approach with an aerial attack of some kind, which then you can return in kind and just completely fucking floor him. So, you know, That's why I feel like Bardock is a really good character against them, because Vegito can't do much to keep him out, and Vegito wants to approach Bardock in order to actually make an approach. On top of Bardock also having one particular string that really fucks me up. That's just me. I feel like that is definitely the case in a lot of instances. But yeah. Definitely try to piss the Vegito off and make poor decisions. Start super dashing from really far away, which is a horrible idea in general as this character. So yeah. Although if you were to get this right. Nah, I'm not gonna mess with that right now. It's too much time. So yeah. Now quickly going back off that little train of thought about trying to use space control in order to keep out Vegito. One of his best ways of just approaching period is either through machine gun kicks or just a super dash. If you are good at just using a two-way to counter the super dash, you are completely set, because, well, I mean, I don't have to really explain it too much. There's a few other ways for him to actually approach from this distance, outside of just like jumping, doing flips, or hoping something approaches from all the way over here. Which, I mean, 2L is not infallible. It has range limits. 2M is also not infallible. It has range limits. Generally, just footsies overall will probably get Vegito killed if you're able to get the precise ranges down correctly and you're able to react to them. I mean, it's still scary as shit trying to do footsies with Vegito. I mean, because he has little feet that come out at you, and it can be pretty intimidating. But it's not all doom and gloom, because you can still just space him out in general, and he can't do anything. He has nothing. He has no back pocket projectile that he can just use. As in like a good beam or something like Broly or something like that. He has to approach using assists. That's really like, if he can't do that, he's fucked. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're actually going to talk about the thing that probably a few people are going to be clicking here for, which is the light kicks. So this is something I've been seeing more and more. There is a lot of discourse in the community as to whether or not this attack is good. And I see people making cases for it being bad because it's not just it scales your combo or some other bullshit like that. It's not traditional. Then I see people saying it's broken because, you know, multiple hitboxes, super easy to hit confirm, and that is absolutely true. But it's not the best attack in the game. And in fact, I would say, while yes, this is a very, very strong light attack, it's not unbeatable. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. The light kicks do look like they have really good range, and when they do connect, they are scary as shit to deal with, because it comes up 4 times, or the kicks connect 4 times. It's got fairly impressive range. Like, you can connect the kicks from ranges that light attacks normally shouldn't come from. Like, if I were to go with Goku Black, who has fairly average light attacks, look at this. I have to be right up my opponent's ass to even think about connecting this. You know, with Vegito, I can probably connect them from, yeah, the last one connects from all the way over here, and that's getting a range like his standing medium starts to connect from. So this is pretty impressive. Now, the thing about the light kicks is, of course, they're not godlike. They have weaknesses, and I'll go over them. First of all, the linear shit. When you're in the light kicks, you're committed to them. So that might seem really obvious, and there is a little bit of a mix-up with if you're going to continue with the second light kick afterwards. But here's the thing. The second light kick is nowhere near as scary as the first one. Or the first 4, I guess. So, as soon as you see him thrust forward with that last kick, you are free to just approach and do whatever the hell you want, basically. Because he's not... if you're in the open, you can't cancel into anything. Like, you can do the second hit. No, you're committed to this. You can't just immediately change it if you want to. So unless you do a fucking super, if you're a crazy man for some reason, but like even then you're not gonna land this out in the open. So if your opponent whiffs this, if you're sharp, because this does last for a while, but the last kick does recover it recovers a little quickly. So you have to be ready to make the approach, but it's not perfect, of course. So if I were to set the enemy to just, oh god, how am I gonna do this one? Actually, no, I know exactly how to do this. Hang on a sec. Okay, so I'm setting the AI to do a counterattack at the light kicks whenever he blocks this. So if, for example, this happens, I can counterattack with the standing medium. This isn't. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So there is the fact that there is the weirdness of the light kicks where if I keep doing this, there's a good chance that I will actually get tagged in my super dash. Yeah, like right there. You can see that the light kicks can hit you out of a super dash. The priority is really weird. I'm just starting to think that maybe his light kicks are just abnormal in general, or like they're just bugged a little bit, but for the most part, yeah, once he's committed to this, he's fucking committed. So if I see him he's doing that, I can just go swing with the medium. If I'm seeing he's doing it, I can even like do some dumb bullshit with waiting for last hit to come out and go for a crouch medium, so on and so forth. So, but that said though, there's a lot of situations where you're just trying to do this and your opponent starts doing weird bullshit. Like, for example, this can tag people jumping, which I will admit is a bit much. For example, yeah, when he's kicking, everything below his waist pretty much is a fucking hitbox. Yeah, I know. Who'd have thought that the fucking leg kicks would actually work as an anti-air, right? By the way, a little bit of advanced Vegito tech. If you catch a jumping opponent with the leg kicks, go for the all combo, because otherwise a lot of your stuff's gonna drop. So just a little quick advanced Vegito tech I'm gonna be meaning to talk about for a while. But yeah, for the most part, this is really weird. It can use this as like a weird sort of like anti-air strategy. Here's the thing: if you're airborne and the opponent's doing this, there's a few options. First of all, I mentioned the chicken block, the almighty chicken block with the Spirit Sword, as always. If you're someone like Goku Black, you can wait for it to cover or double jump to adjust your timing. Then go for like a diving heavy or air heavy if you want to. Or so, yeah, you can just go for this or something to that effect. Actually, let me see if I can't get that set up to go again really quickly. Yeah, so if we're like just scrapping on the ground and we're not jumping at all, this move can seem rather intimidating, but here is a trick. If you jab, do an assist. If the assist jumps in the air and has a little bit of positioning, it's not difficult to deal with, really. If you're an assist that just jumps up behind you and you don't have to worry about them being attacked by the fucking kicks or anything, you have a pretty good counter to this. Frankly, the attack is only really scary if he starts doing it like that. A thing, yeah, apparently the light kicks come out a little, like 1 frame slower than the average jab in this game. Which, I mean, that's kind of cool, but that's still pretty difficult to deal with regardless. Yeah, not gonna lie, the light kicks can be a little finicky to deal with, but if you space, it's you can take care of it. Oh, and especially if you have a decent move like Goku Black's heavy teleport or Cell's teleport for that matter, you can still deal with it. So if I were to do this decently, or you know, that could hit me out of the air because fucking tracking on it. That's something else I'm going to talk about actually. This has the move has weird tracking properties. Like it just does weird bullshit wherever it wants to sometimes. So yeah. But for the most part, just respecting the kicks, just approaching with fast medium attacks whenever it gets whiffed. For the most part, you're probably gonna get tagged by the light kicks unexpectedly. Like if you're jumping over your opponent, like if you're in this situation and you have assists flying everywhere and he does that, that's probably gonna be the main reason why the light kicks are gonna connect. It's because the opponent got lucky, or yeah, because of the Vegito just got lucky and you just got tagged by it all of a sudden. So yeah, don't be too shocked by that if it happens. It's kind of weird in the way it works. That said though, you can still deal with it. So I hope this is somewhat a decent explanation. Just pace it. It's still a light kick, and it still has a really long cooldown. So just space yourself and you should be okay. Also, one other thing. Oh yeah, I don't have it, but he does. Hang on a sec. One other thing I do want to mention is that Brilliant's Lariat Express, since it has infinite super armor, or rather infinite hits of physical attacks going into it, you can use a Lariat Express at weird ranges in order to actually get this to connect. So for those Broly players out there, you have some tools against Vegito. You're not destitute like a lot of characters like maybe Nappa or something. I don't know, I'm just kind of making this up, but like you have ways of actually approaching the light kicks. You're not totally screwed. Dive kick will also be decent, I think. Hold up a sec. I'm pretty sure this is safe, right? What? What the hell do you mean this isn't safe? Am I doing something wrong? I'm pretty sure the dive kick's safe. Yeah, whatever. Now, another thing we're going to talk about, of course, because I mentioned this before, Vegito's pressure is only truly scary if he has an assist on him, or if he has access to both assists. This is why I advocate that Vegito is best as a point character / maybe mid, not anchor. Anchor, he can still do a crap ton of damage, as well as the fact that, yeah, it turns out you can also do dumb crap like jump cancel his fucking light spirit swords, which is like next level fuckery. I didn't think it was actually possible. That's absolutely nuts. Holy crap. But yeah, it turns out, yeah, his pressure is only really scary if he has assists to back him up. If not, you know, if he starts jumping, 2H him in impunity, unless he starts getting smart and starts blocking the air, in which case you always crack him open in that regard. For other pressure situations, if you know that the light kick or the machine gun kicks cause pushback on block, you don't have to challenge it. Just play it cool, or hell, you might even have like answers for the machine gun kicks, because this is not that. This move is honestly pretty crap. Except for this fringe use I found with, you know, the whiff punish tactic because of the pushback. It's not really going to be useful for you too heavily. If you don't know, this move actually has pushback and block, so if you try to punish it for some reason or somehow, don't do it, because that's a dangerous game right there, because Vegito has a really strong whiff punish toolkit to really abuse you if you end up trying to do that. So don't challenge it. It's not worth it in the slightest. So for the most part, if he just starts going for flips, 2H him. If he's going for other stuff, his block strings are honestly not that scary. So yeah. Also the fact that, you know, he doesn't have a crouching low attack that's a light. The best he has is this 2M, which it jumps a little bit. You could maybe get confused, maybe confuse the 2M for the 5M, or no, the 6M, but like that's really iffy, because this is hella slow. So I mean, you know, good luck trying to get tripped up by that. Outside of that, be careful of his pretty decent overhead from an air dash, and you're pretty much good. Ah yes, now this part. I was actually looking forward to talking about this especially. So the Spirit Sword. Awesome chicken block option, really good if your opponent swings with the button and you can just punch him with this. Get a small, nice little combo out of it. You know, it's pretty good. Here's the thing. I think people don't really remember this, but you can't angle this attack whatsoever. So here's a couple things about the Spirit Sword. One, it's stuck with this very, very steep angle. So if the enemy starts abusing this, you're actually really weak to super dashes. This is actually, I was playing online the other day, and I did end up getting maul bars a few times. I don't know why I just booted me back to the main menu for some reason. If you end up getting hit, or if the enemy starts really abusing this, I'm gonna actually get to set the enemy AI to start super dashing at me. So with this, the enemy's gonna start super dashing at me. So not only is it a little slow on startup if the opponent starts super dashing on you, it's not instantaneous. The angle is extremely steep. It can hit people at that angle, but if the attacks are active, you don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, see that? Just beat it completely cleanly. The hitbox of the Spirit Sword is nowhere really active on Vegito himself. It's only really active below his waist, but with the super dash, yeah, you have to worry about that. This move is only really good as countering against opponents that are on the ground. If he starts just abusing this, super dash him. That's all you gotta do, really. So even if you do end up getting hit by the Spirit Sword, you don't have to worry too much, because the thing about the Spirit Sword is, I've mentioned this already in the guide, but when you land this, you have to use your super dash in order to actually get the full combo out. And even then, I'd scarcely call this even a full combo, because at most, if you're not looking to burn a lot of meter, and why would you? This damage is not that great. You're gonna burn. You can probably do that much. If you don't burn meter, you might get about just shy of 3K. So honestly, outside outside of its intended uses, yeah, this move is not that great. That said, though, getting a double Spirit Sword combo can be pretty cool. That I will openly admit that, but outside of that, I actually wonder if this works. Oh, that does work, actually. Interesting. So, yeah, you don't really have to worry too much about the Spirit Sword. The Spirit Sword, it is terrifying to deal with if it's spaced correctly and it's used for its intended purposes, but if it's being used as like a poking tool, no, you don't have to worry. So, even if you end up getting blocking the Spirit Sword, don't really worry too much because he can cancel into some stuff, but these things are weak. So, remember that you can super dash the shotgun blast if you end up doing this, if you cancel into it. If you decide to cancel into the machine gun kicks in order to escape, which is the funniest way of retreating ever. Like, this is just so cute. No, that's not going to work too well. So, if I were to actually show you this, show us off, this isn't going to be too pretty for me. Or I can send him all the way up to the sky. Yeah, that's a better example. Yep, I can't really do anything about that. I can't do anything about that. If you end up blocking the Spirit Sword, you just kind of have to just sit there and deal with it. There we go. I knew you could block that. So, yeah, don't worry too much about the Spirit Sword. It can be great for disrupting the neutral and putting Vegito back on the offensive, but if you're panicking about the Spirit Sword, then the Vegito's already won because it's not meant to be like a heavy harassment tool. It's really more just used to escape general, pressure, if you will. All right, so now we got all of that covered. Let's talk about your actual core strategies of just dealing with Vegito in general. So one of the key things I'm going to advocate for offhand is if Vegito is on point, you want to send him into the back. So for example, this Vegito, I'm going to send him back. Now, there is a good reason for this. It's because if you're able to eliminate, if you do this and your opponent's strategy is to have Vegito on point in order to build up meter, as well as to have assists backing him up, he's going to want to switch to Vegito at some point in the match. So with that going on, you can really pressure the fuck out of him if you force tags. Forcing tags against Vegito will heavily disrupt the opponent's game plan. And then later on, if he comes back into the match, because I just killed his Barlock, for an example, then he's suddenly down to, oh hey, he's down to 1 meter now. Then if I take out the Broly, it's, oh hey, now he's by himself. Now that might sound terrifying because that means that there's one Vegito who has sparking, but here's the thing. This is also one Vegito who has no options whatsoever in order to back up his assist, because again, you can 2H this with impunity, unless he decides to start doing stuff like, I don't know, empty jumping, which is an option, but not entirely advisable, I would say. Now, another good thing to keep in mind when trying to fight Vegito, and this is especially funny for me because I just happen to have Barlock on the other side of the team, try to piss off the Vegito. And by that, I mean, don't let him approach. In fact, it might just be easier to showcase this off directly because it is especially strong with Goku Black. Piss off the Vegito, which I know a lot of you are going to probably enjoy doing. If he tries to approach you using super dashes, make it back the fuck up. Because, again, if he's really trying to approach you and his only way of doing it is super dashing, this is really going to fuck him up like no one's business. So, better examples would be like, let me see if I can go pull this up. Yeah, if you were to try doing this, that's not going to work either. Again, all of this is really to condition your opponent into wanting to do two things: vanishing and super dashing. Both of these are really good for you because if you're able to react to it, you can annihilate him pretty handily. And again, he has no really good options otherwise of trying to deal with it. Yeah, if you have certain characters, like this becomes even easier. As I'm whiffing with a 2H. What is going on right now? There we go. That was odd. I'm gonna have to look at that and play back. That was really strange, but piss off the Vegito something fierce, and you will probably be able to crack him in no time. Again, he barely even has defensive options because what's he gonna do? Like, try to jump out of the way? I mean, that's still not gonna do too many good things, really. Now, something I would personally recommend, since you know, it's Vegito and everything. You may have noticed by now that Vegito has very odd angles of attack. So his 2H goes straight above him. He has this 2S, which does... Okay, let's talk about the 2S for a second. No Vegito player on the face of the earth is going to use this attack, and I can promise you, I can promise you that. The reason being is because this is an extremely fringe ability that, like, it's like, yeah, if your opponent is jumping, you can go for this, or you can go for this that will also land you a super and is generally safer, because if it turns out he didn't jump, hey, you can force a mix upon him now. So, you know, no self-respecting Vegito player is ever going to use this. Except for like maybe a few daredevils, but for the most part, you'll never see this. So, for the most part, right here, this is generally the angle you want to be using Vegito, or you want to be approaching the enemy Vegito at. So, what does this angle afford you? First of all, he can't do machine gun kicks. He can't do standing light. He can't really do a lot of things in terms of like the horizontal space. In terms of the vertical space, if you're up here, he can't hit you with Spirit Sword. The only thing he can't really hit you with, well, the light version will not work. Sometimes. The medium version can catch you out of the air, but a Vegito going for hard reads with this is a dangerous thing, because if you're expecting something like that, you can easily hit him out of the air with like an air medium, or hell, your own Spirit Sword if you're a Vegito player. So, you know, that's not too bad. This is really easy to deal with. So I believe that this nozzle, this funnel right here, this cone of attack, this is the perfect way to fight Vegito at. And you can also just land yourself right on the opponent as well. So, no big deal. I believe this is like the opportune angle to approach this asshole at. And better yet, if you have characters that benefit from this angle, like Goku Black, because you can box jump, that's what it used to be called back in the day, box jumping. Box jump into air heavy, because it covers a lot of options. If he does something dumb, like tries to go for that, you can pressure him with an air S. You can go for a God Slicer if you want to, in order to just go right over his fucking head, because this will really make him shit bricks if you're going for it right. And yeah, just stay to this area right here, and you should be okay. But that said, don't stay here for long, because 236 or 214M can still hit you. Of course, it's not. I'm not saying it won't. But I'm also saying that no one is gonna have the reaction times for that. Now, a bigger thing, big thing, a major thing that I feel like you really also have to keep in mind is when Vegito whips a button, you have to be ready to kill him for it. So, what exactly do I mean by that? So, let's say I have Vegito set to do nothing but do standing medium, because that's a fairly big attack, right? It's got pretty impressive range. It's not bad. Or he's doing the full fucking auto combo. Alright, why am I in the corner? No. If he's going for this, these attacks, while they do have impressive range, they're also slow as shit. Oh, I'm surprised it does fucking auto combo, actually. So these attacks, while yeah, they are pretty large lunging attacks that do seem pretty impressive. Why is it just... Oh, is that actually a fucking medium auto combo? I never knew that. Huh. I don't do the medium auto combo with Vegito. I didn't know that was a thing. Alright, let's make this a little easier then, shall we? Set him to guard. Have him retaliate medium attacks. That'd be better. So you do that, and he's like, oh, hey, I feel like going for a medium attack. If he does this, kill him, because that's going to whiff. And because it comes out in such a weird way, it's going to... Because he can't really do anything else, again, this is just an example, but you can easily kill him if you have a character that has bigger attack, like somewhat big attacks, like Cell's Crouch Medium, Goku Black Stand Heavy, which is really good in this situation, because it has obscene range. In fact, you can even whip punch with 2H if you want to. Something like that, yeah, you know, it's good stuff. And remember, he's at the guard the whole time, so when he blocks something, he fucking blocks something. If he's getting hit by it, he's getting hit by it. There's no real negotiating that. So, definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, good stuff in general. Another example, and the other big attack he does have is his crouching medium. Which, I mean, no, I'm not going to knock this attack at all. It absolutely has a really good, fucking good range. That said, though, not perfect. You can reflect it if you want to, which, I mean, it is an option. But here's the thing. It seems to end off faster than one would expect. Like, for example, if I can space this perfectly, that will hit, but it feels like it always, as the Vegito player, or as someone who plays Vegito, I feel like his crouch medium always just stops short of where you want it to be. So if like the tip range never feels like it's not there. Like you saw that. It looked like it should have probably hit me with the way his foot was so lunging forward, but it didn't. So because of that, it's got huge recovery, so you can absolutely murlate him without feeling too bad. So yeah, generally good stuff. Also, you can't just beat it out because both medium attacks are pretty fucking slow. No armor, no real like intangibility. You can just go for it. No big deal. It's not hit. You don't have to worry about weird stuff. And the last things I'm going to talk about really quickly is I feel like some of the best matchups in this game against Vegito are actually Bardock and Kid Buu. Now, let me quickly talk about why I feel like Bardock is probably one of the best ways of countering Vegito. This is from my own experience, personally. I'm by no means going off of like frame data or matchup knowledge. This is strictly my own experience. Fuck 5LL. Fuck this move entirely. And the reason being I hate this move is because as the Vegito player will have to usually get hit by this if they try to go for the flips. So, for example, let me have him actually do the flips. Oh shit! Hang on. This is still one of my best options with Vegito when I'm doing stuff. So here's the thing. I mentioned in the guide that very frequently, like the enemy will try to attack Cell or the assist if I do the usual like combo setup or block string. Here's the thing. Bardock's fucking light string is obnoxious because the second and third hits have such insane fucking vertical reach. I despise this move so much. Like, it's really good, but I hate dealing with it so much. So example, like, it is still fast as fuck because it can still you saw that. Like, if I time it better, if I were actually a Bardock player, I could probably actually just swap him out of the air completely. This move actually catches Vegito like well before he's on the floor. And this isn't his 2H either. The 2H, the last hit's basically the last hit of his fucking combo string. It's pretty gross. Yeah, this attack can gimp out a lot of Vegito's offense because very frequently before he even hits the ground, you're gonna get tagged by this. So the way it usually goes is if he jumps, the assist will come out here, Bardock will punch, and then while he's going on the other side, the string will auto adjust, and the last two hits will connect Vegito. This happens all the time when I have Bardock in a corner. Like, hang on, let me actually show you this. This is actually ridiculous. I'm gonna take the corner from him. Oh, perfect. All right, watch this. No matter what you do, if you're pressuring Bardock in a corner, if you try to do flip setups, it's just not working. It's just horrifying to deal with. So yeah, that's why I feel like Bardock is really fucking good for this. Now, Kid Buu, I don't have Kid Buu in here because I don't know a lot of his buttons offhand, but Kid Buu also fucks me up a lot using Vegito. Generally just because he's a smaller hitbox or hurtbox, so anytime like I go for, you know, the flip mix-ups or like combos in general, I feel like it just always drops. So like when that happens, it gets fun. As well as it just feels like a lot of stuff you try to do against Kid Buu doesn't work because of his sheer size. I feel like Gotenks might be in a similar ballpark if I fought more Gotenkses, but Kid Buu is more nimble. So as a result, he's able to slip through my fingers a lot if I'm playing Vegito. So yeah, some general good matchup knowledge for you. I've shown some Broly stuff already. Like if you know for a fact you're not gonna use the shield ever again, which they really shouldn't, you can just cheese them out with Lariat Express, and it's hilarious. So yeah, guys, with that, I hope you've learned a thing or two about how to fight Vegito in this game. It's not impossible to deal with. I feel like, again, the biggest complaint is this attack right here. As long as you space it correctly and do dumb bullshit, you will definitely be able to gimp him out. Again, The key thing is to piss him off by playing long range, make him approach you, and then you can swat him down because, again, he has no really good ways of approaching people because no crouching light, doesn't really have no beams, no long range space control, nothing like that. As long as you're careful, I think you'll be okay against him. So yeah, enjoy.